Hello and good morning. So today I will be removing and replacing the bumper on my 2010 Subaru Outback. So I've got this aftermarket bumper here. The first thing we're going to do is take it out of the package. I've decided to keep it inside because it's -6 today, so when it comes to the actual part where I'm going to be putting this bumper onto the vehicle, I want the plastic to be warm, because it'll be less likely to snap in the cold. So we'll get this package opened up and let's see what we got. So there we go. So this is what we'll be working with. It's pretty much identical to the original bumper. It's got the hole for the tow hook, and you can see through these plastic the holes for the fog lights. This one is not the color of my vehicle because I'm cheap. Looks fine on this side, but is missing on this side. So hence the reason for replacing it. I've had this car since Wednesday of last week, so it's actually a week today. Obviously it needs a bit of work, so the first step is going to be replacing this bumper. Then this is still going to be, I'm going to reuse that piece, and I'm going to reuse the fog light cover on this side. The fog light cover on this side is missing, so eventually I'm going to get that replaced. The fog light itself, however, is hiding in it. It still works, but they're kind of bad. The way they only come on if your running lights are on, which kind of defeats their purpose. But anyways, so it looks like some of this is broken. That's definitely bent. The whole thing here's got a bit of bends. It might not go back on properly and fully, but it'll be better than having a gaping hole in the bumper. So we'll pop the hood and get started. So we've gone and removed the two-piece push clips all along here. This piece is now moving relatively easily. This is still kind of stuck on. I'm going to go in there with a screwdriver and carefully pry and see if that'll just pop the plastic out. If that doesn't work, I might just reef on it. This is a replace. This is the old bumper. I'm not putting it back on, so if it breaks, I'm not worried. However, if the attachment points break, then it's going to be creative. So let's see what happens. Okay, so mostly off now. There was a push clip on here which was hiding underneath the wheel well cover, going in, if you can see, going into that. So that's off now. There are still push clips, pins, whatever you want to call them, on the bottom of the bumper, attaching to the sort of plastic skid plates. One thing I'm pretty much certain is not OEM is the zip ties. If you can see that. Yeah, there's zip ties holding what I imagine used to hold the fog light on. There's two zip ties chained together. And on this side, we've got a screw with a massive washer. That also seems like it's not OEM. So I got to take those off to get this fog light off. And then to remove the front logo grill. Oh, this is upside down. I'm sure you'll appreciate that if it focuses. So there's some Phillips screws on either side. So we'll get those off. This piece will come off. We'll get the fog light out. And then we got to remove the plastic clips on the bottom attaching to the skid plates. And then the whole thing should be off. Okay, so this grill is off. So not only were there Phillips screws here and here, but there was also two along the bottom. So that's all off. There is a screw which I'm assuming is holding in the badge underneath. And then there's screws in this area as well, which I imagine you have to remove all of them to remove these. I do intend on painting this when I can afford paint. So eventually that knowledge will come in handy when I deal with that. So back to this. Next step will be getting this fog light off. So we'll get that done. Okay, bumper is off and face down. I have found yet another zip tie holding it, so it looks like they also drilled a hole in order to install that zip tie. So that is quality. And if we go and look at the fog light here, we'll just show you. This is broken here. It should look identical to that. So that large washer that we saw over top was basically just catching just enough of it to hold the fog light in place. I do intend on replacing these with some amber, or yellow rather, yellow LED ones. So this will have to go back on to the new bumper. So in order to do that, I'm gonna need this piece. And it should just come off if I wrench on it. And we'll get a screwdriver on it, see if that'll pull it off for us. There. Okay, so that's off in the snow. I'll grab that. I'm gonna take off the fog light cover, cut that zip tie, and the bumper will come off completely now. Fog light cover is off. Now, I was originally thinking of painting these black. However, my bumper is black. So I might keep them as this color, have a sort of a, I don't know, different color. Let me know what you guys think. I might also, if I can, find paint that matches the body perfectly. I'll paint these like that. However, these are plastic and the body is mostly metal, so it might not match perfectly. So they might end up black, it might stay as this color. We will see. Okay, so bumper's off completely now. It looks like a rally car. I am going to remove the foam piece, I think. They're really not needed. We'll see if the bumper needs it to fit. Probably doesn't. But it's just extra weight. It doesn't really do anything. So I'm likely going to remove that. So I'll go get the replacement bumper, put the grill on it. Actually, I'm going to do that inside. So I'll let that grill warm up. Oh, I suppose it doesn't matter. Because it is, I was worried about the plastic snapping and that, but it is mostly just plastic push pins. And whether it's cold or not, those things will, if they want to snap, they will snap. I have thousands of replacements from my previous vehicle over there. So I'm not worried about those. I was worried about pieces like these breaking. Things like these and these kind of things, because it is almost -10 right now. So plastic doesn't even like 0 degrees, but it's held out. It hasn't snapped at all. So that's good news. All right, we'll get the replacement bumper and put that on. Okay, so I've put the necessary pieces on, and already it looks mean. That color black is like a sort of a semi-gloss, and I think that looks great. I was planning on painting this in bed liner eventually, but I'm starting to think maybe I'm going to leave it like this because I like the look of it. And even the chrome grille, what I might do is I might paint the chrome piece black, and this I might leave this color, or I might do it the other way around. I'm not a fan of chrome, but the way that this sort of clashes the two colors, I like that. But that's down the road for now. We're gonna put this on, we'll get the fog light attached, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so it was getting cold and I kind of forgot to film, but it's back on now. We've got the fog light cover on, and that sort of two-tone look I am loving. And then on this side I decided to put the license plate there to cover up the where the fog light cover isn't. It worked quite almost perfectly. There is just this section here, if you can see that. So that'll have to be amended at some point. Some of this masking tape they used just won't come off. I'm hoping with some wet or some heat, it might eventually peel off. If not, whatever. But all in all, it looks pretty good. It doesn't fit perfectly in this spot, and that's because the actual fender sort of flare here is bent. So I might eventually take it off and edit it, but for now that's what we've got. So thanks for watching.